Hey Internet, what's going on? Let's talk about controversies in video games again, shall we? We did a podcast about nearly a year ago now where it was my buddy Andy and of course my cover artist Quick Kick, and we were talking about the video game hatred and controversies in video games, be it minute to actually fairly large. Well, we had a new one last summer that I only knew about fairly recently. I'm sure everybody by now has heard of this. Pretty sure it probably, that it was pulled from Steam Greenlight and all this stuff. The game Kill the Faggot, and all the controversy naturally that spurned from it, and everything else, and a lot of stupid shit said by the developer in order to cover his ass and make claims about, oh, this was meant to be a social experiment. No. Got me thinking about a lot of things. Because when the whole controversy about hatred started, that was all that game had going for it, was that its trailer showed that it was incredibly violent and that you were just this insane person who was going out and brutally murdering innocent civilians because you were just a psychopath. And the game only sold based on that controversy. And when the game came out, what was it? It wasn't a very good game. It was very boring and bland. Now, I haven't actually played it, mostly because I had no interest in it to begin with, because I wondered, well, what else does this game have to offer? Turns out, nothing. It was a twin-stick shooter, was all it was. And also, from what I understand, the game was also loaded with a lot of bugs, too. And then, now we get this. This is right up there with another controversial game that we mentioned on the podcast, made by a hate group, where it was called something like Genocide or something like that, where it tried to use an early Steam, an early Doom engine, or basically it was a Doom clone, where it was a first-person shooter and you went around killing blacks and Jews and shit like that. But it only sold in, like, underground KKK clubs and shit like that, because those are really the only people that you really could sell that stupid shit to begin with. And now this. And I found a picture of the developer. I'm gonna try and show it here. I mean, Hellman, you can find it, if you just look up the game on Google. And the guy looks like a psychopath. He does. Either that or he has a severe mental disability. And I mean, according to whatever it is that it says about this guy, that he's a gamer, he's a skateboarder, he tried to run a shoe business, or he tried to kickstart a shoe business of shoes made specifically for Christians that failed miserably. And then this. He tried to make a shitty, what some have called a first-person shooter. Really, what it is it's an on-rail shooter, only you never move. You're just in this one still frame. And you have, all these different people running past you. And some of them are gay, some of them are transgender, and you have to kill the gays and the transgenders. And the game rewards you and has an announcer and everything that shouts, "Faggot killed! Transgender killed! AIDS carrier killed!" And it's extremely over the top and all that. And you're also punished if you kill any straight people, too. And it was on Steam Greenlight, probably for not very long, and then was immediately taken off. Obviously because Steam is not going to allow a game on their service called Kill the Faggot. And that's all the game is. And I've seen the gameplay footage, and the game looks like shit. It does. It looks like a bad PC game made in, like, the 90s, in, like, 1990. And the fact that the developer tried to make bullshit claims about the game, to claim that, oh, well, this was merely a social experiment because I wanted to make the game so controversial, so in your face, that if you did get offended by it, then, then you're just too sensitive. To part of that argument, I will say, yes, we do live in a more sensitive time, in a far more politically correct driven world. We do, where even if somebody makes a gay, a transgender, or even some form of a racist joke, you are immediately labeled as being homophobic or a racist, and people will hurl stones at you, demand an apology, and all this, despite the fact that there was nothing meant by it. It was just a stupid joke, was really all it was. But politics and bullshit aside, you made a crappy game and you tried to sell it just based on controversy, is all you tried to do. You made a shit game and you tried to sell it based on controversy, which was never gonna fucking happen to begin with on Steam, you fucking moron. Which, I can't help but ask, if you really wanted to get your name out there, why didn't you just make a good game? Hell, supposedly you're into skateboarding. Why didn't you make an indie skateboarding game? No? Jackass? I mean, making a good game can't be hard. Now, I've never made a game. I'm not a programmer. I don't have the money for it. So, but I wouldn't think that perhaps on a limited budget, and I don't even know how much it would even cost to even just make a game. I mean, I can't imagine it would be that much. Maybe a couple of $1,000s, for a small indie title, maybe. But, I mean, dude, if you bothered to show real creativity, real imagination, and not just, I need to get attention. I need to get a lot of attention. I know. I'll make the most controversial, hate-filled game possible, and then I'll try and make this bullshit excuse out of it too, to claim that it was merely an experiment. I don't much care for controversy, or even trying to sell anything based on controversy, because that's bullshit. That is complete and utter bullshit. Just make a good product. That's all you gotta do. Just make a good, fun product. That's all you gotta do. Like, I would not like the idea of solely making videos that talked about nothing but controversial things. That talked about things that made people incredibly uncomfortable, or anything like that, because that makes me feel, like a dirty whore, basically. Like, oh, I'm doing this merely for the attention. And it's despicable and it's pathetic, is really what it is. And that's exactly what this person was. They were incredibly pathetic, and God, I mean, you look at pictures of this guy, he looks like he's got mental issues. He looks like the type of person who would walk into a school with a loaded gun and start shooting people. So, hopefully, authority figures are watching this guy, especially. People are fucking stupid. See you next time.